Liquor? I barely knew her. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box. Happy New Comic Book Day to you, and welcome to week 2 of the Punchline Watch. Welcome to another edition of the Black Knight Report. This is a long-term spec list that I teased to you guys, I think last week. I've been sitting on this for a couple days, but if you were paying attention, we said that Kang was coming and there was going to be some time travel involved, and they were going back to the Old West. And for my man, the Black Knight, he said, hey, I got a list of characters that Marvel wants to use for those time travel things. But first up, let me bring in my motley crew of characters. I got my man, Manimal. Say what's up to the good folks.
What's going on, everyone? Good to see you on another Wednesday night.
What's up to my man, Nemesis Prime? Say what's up to the good folks, Justin.
Hello, everyone. Wednesday night. I am so happy to be here. Final Wednesday in February.
You sound super excited too. Otto from Cellmate, Cell Block 9. Say what's up to everybody.
What's up? I got some free time. I got some commissary going on. Some putting people put my money in my account. I got some stuff in my account, so I got about 60 minutes to kick with you guys before the CEOs lock me down again.
And what's up to our producer with the most? Darkside Jedi.
DSJ and the Hizzy. I've been watching a lot of 60 Days In, and Otto, I'm telling you, you might need to get on the next season, brother. You might be able to fit right in that show, man.
No, I'm telling you, CB9, man. Remember that movie with Chris Rock?
CB4.
CB4, yeah. CB4. What was his one dude's name? Was Stabmaster?
Stabmaster Arson.
Stabmaster Arson, dude.
MC
I love
Gusto
that.
and
Straight out of Gusto.
Dead
Crazy
Mike.
Motherfucking Dead
Right.
Mike, dude. One of my favorites. You might a little bit something everything.
I can rap straight out of Low Cash right now, the whole thing.
Go.
Baller.
Put it full screen, Ryan.
I may
I'm not
have
doing
to.
it. There's too many.
We need a super chat for that, guys.
There's too many racial slurs in there.
Epitaphs.
All right, Manila Rice. All right, not Vanilla Rice.
Manila Rice.
I guess I would be closer. All right, so first up, this show is sponsored by our good friends at KRSComics.com. Go to KRSComics.com/exclusives. Use discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off any KRS Comics exclusive. They got some cool C2E2 exclusive variants up there right now. As a matter of fact, they will be at C2E2 this weekend, I do believe, is C2E2, and they got a cool list lineup. I think Natalie Sanders is going to be there. She has a gorgeous cover for Mercy #1. Mercy is actually hitting the racks next week. And you know what? I'm going to talk about that later on in this episode for some content we're thinking about doing for the channel. Everybody does reviews of new comics that just came out and reading and this and that. I just found out I can tell you about comics that are coming out a week in advance. And I'm telepathetic, yo. I can see shit in the future. Shout out to my man.
You were a mutant.
Shout out to Matt Ford's $5 super chat. He says, "Drop the beat, Manimal, yo." So we have to do a whole remix of this, right? So just record your vocals. I'm gonna lay them over a beat. So we're straight out of Low Cash.
Crazy
All right,
shout out named Gusto.
Yeah, boy.
All right. Shout out to our friends so make sure you check out KRSComics.com. They got something with coverprice.com right now. If you go check out coverprice, that's coverpric.com over on Instagram. They're doing a giveaway for some exclusives as well. Our last winner got some KRS Comics exclusives. And I'm going to be working, I'm going to talk to coverprice.com to see if we can work something out with them. They're a really cool website and only like the sponsor sites that are cool and have cool stuff, and they're one of them. Speaking of cool sites, show is also sponsored by the geekyswagshop.com. Go to the geekyswagshop.com, get yourself an NY Warrior shirt, and use the discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off of that NY Warrior shirt. That's right. Tell them the Lord sent you to go support our friends at the NY Warriors. You not only get Lords of Long Box shirt there, you can get a New York Warrior shirt there too. How cool is that? And if you use our discount code, you get 5% more. So I'm just saying.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're helping them out, man. Also, shout out to my friends, our friends, because we all use them at rocketcomics.com. Go to Rocket Comics on all their social media profiles, Instagram, Twitters, the Facebooks, MySpace, Friendster, Napster, BearShare. They're on all those things, man. Rocket Comics is also going to be at C2E2. Facilitating his ass off. I've been to cons with him. That is the hardest working man in comic book business. He is walking around all day long. Matter of fact, that's how I met KRS Comics 5 years ago. KRS Comics used to be a facilitator before he got into the variant retail business. He used to started his business on Instagram. People used to hit him up. That he used to press and he used to submit books to CGC. And that's how you work from the inside of the comic book industry and build up good relationships. Now he's dealing with major people. He's got partners with, here and there. I can't disclose all the secrets, but one day I will. I'll pull back the curtain, man.
One day when you step out of the hobby, you'll drop it all for everyone. It'll be like unclassifying all the
day I retire, I'm going to let out all the deep, dark secrets. But right now, there's way too much stuff that I want to get done for me to do that. But let's just go, man. When I go to cons and I talk to my friends and they tell me some of the crazy shit, and then sometimes they're like, you didn't hear this from me. But then sometimes you say, yeah, that you can say that's from me. Like a funny story. Shout out to NY Warriors. Speaking of the devil, man, shout out to the Lord's Crew. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Big Easy. If you guys haven't checked that out, I was on Easy NY Warriors show yesterday.
Monday.
I forgot already. I was on there Monday after Sunday's video where I dropped the thing about the Dio leaving DC and all the stuff that's going on. I got a lot of Twitter hate, so I just wanted to go out to Big show on Monday because they talked about. If you haven't checked out the video, go check it out on Sunday. Check out the video on Warriors on Monday. Basically, the Dio left. And the gist of it is he burned a lot of bridges in the industry. A lot of people didn't want to work with him. There's a reason. Partly AT&T didn't feel confident with the 5G launch that they're doing. Scott Snyder was butting heads with them. The 5G stuff is, matter of fact, I'll update this today. The 5G stuff is still moving forward from everything I heard. I spoke to comic book creators, not just my insiders, comic book creators who said that this thing is still moving forward, but it's probably going to change a lot drastically from what it was originally. I have like I said, I had a nice 30-minute phone call with Ken Lashley after that show. Ken Lashley was actually in the live chat, and he called me. He goes, I got to tell you some stuff. So after C2E2, instead of me telling you what Ken told me, I'm going to have Ken on the show, and he'll talk about everything you wanted, and he'll give you an update on the milestone stuff. Sadly, he's not doing it anymore. Did you guys know that?
No, I didn't.
No.
That's another thing the Dio did, too. He put the kibosh on milestone. Without
that was going to be a really cool thing.
Without telling anybody. So let's hope that this kind of works on. And I kind of leaked it already too, that as a Spawn 309, Ken Lashley will be taking over all the internal art. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
But I can't he'll tell us what he was offered on the 5G relaunch, which is, you're going to be amazed at what he was offered. But yeah, we're going to get Ken on the show. And as I alluded to, boys and girls, as I just talk, we have
you know what? There was a super chat. Somebody had a question. Anthony Debo.
I'm sorry. Hey, Anthony Debo. Anyway, here come Debo. Hide your chains, man. Hide your chains. Here come Debo. LCS selling New Mutants 98, 9.4 Raw for 300. If it's a true 9.4 Raw for 300, I think that's fair. That's
no, I think it's CGC'd at 9.4 is what he was saying, but yeah, I'd say no. Go for a 9.8. I mean, that book is dropped. The bottom dropped out of that book big time.
Mm-hmm. It's about to pick
up a personal collection. Go for a 9.8, but that book's not going to hold much value anymore.
Yes, it will. It's going to get the Marvel. Everything that gets the Marvel bump gets a new bump.
It'll never go over 1,000.
Yeah, I don't know. I had so many.
Never again.
Yeah, I mean, we used to think, man, this is the high print run, but man, 9.8s are going like crazy. Here's another thing why you should slab it or buy it slabbed or sign slab. Rob Liefeld is no longer signing these things. That's going to up the value on them. Mm-hmm. So if you have a 9.8 yellow label, it's going to be worth money because unless Rob changes his mind. Didn't Starlin do that too?
Yeah, Starlin changed his mind. He came back to it.
Starlin
just changes his mind all the time.
Yeah,
Starlin didn't do it.
Liefeld came out. He said, I'm no longer working with CGC. CGC reached out to him and just said, this and that. Who knows? It could be a money play. You know what? I'm going to reach out to people who are inside the industry and find out what really happened. Who knows? Maybe he wanted a deal like McFarlane, and they were just like, no. Yeah. And then maybe that's why he said, I'm no longer signing for you. But here I'm thinking, how could he stop a facilitator if they were just like, hey, can you sign this? You know what I mean? Unless he explicitly asked them and they say no. It's not. It's kind of like an undercover. Hey, you undercover? Oh yeah, well, I'm not going to sell to you, which is bullshit. You ever seen that in the movies where they go, hey, if I ask you if you're a cop, you got to tell me before I buy these pills or ecstasy or whatever.
Yeah, totally not true.
Yeah, totally not true. So they can still say no, and you're going to jail. So don't watch the movies and believe. Don't get your legal advice from people on social media and movies. Is what
Correction, actually, please do.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to, and all you guys chime in, and before we get to the LTS, I want to talk about since we are on a Wednesday, and luckily for us, there's a lot of news that pops up on a new comic book day, and the thing that came out today was Hell Arisen #3. The reason I want to bring this up, I want to ask you guys if y'all got it. Maybe in the live chat, you guys can blow up your LCS if they were gouging on prices. And also, I want to talk about the news about the Art Germ variant, which that was kind of seismic, because if you had placed pre-orders or already paid, like on eBay, people are already pre-selling the Art Germ variant. Well, it's no longer issue 94. It's been moved up to issue 92. I don't recall this happening. Justin, you deal with a lot of modern variants. Do you recall something like this happening where the character got so damn hype that they wanted to get this first really big solo cover hover out there?
No, this is actually the first time that I've ever seen something where especially when they show off the art and it actually gets moved up. Sometimes you see art for FOCs and previews where it's not the final art, but the fact that, Art Germ posted on his Instagram, DC put in the solicitations, and you knew it was going to be issue 94. And then all of a sudden, the past 2 days, he posted it on his Instagram, and all these other retailers are posting it saying it's no longer issue 94. It's now going to be 92. But, just so you guys know, this is going to be, it's still available to pre-order. So don't go thinking that you're not going to be able to get this book, because FOC on this book is actually the end of this week, if not the end of next week. So you definitely still have time to get it. So I'll definitely run out there and at least pre-order it on some site, or tell your local LCS, or make sure they order enough.
Yeah, that would be your local comic book shop that Justin just dropped right there. Just kidding. So what was interesting, like Hell Arisen, last week, I totally snoozed on this. Justin probably does more of the modern spec than I do. I used to be like every week when I worked from home, I would be at my LCS every day looking and stuff. Now I work far away, and I was like called up my LCS on last Wednesday. I said, "Hey man, can I get Hell Risen 3 when it comes out next week?" And he laughed at me. He goes, "Dude, people already bought all those up like weeks ago." I was like, so the hype is real, man. I don't know if the hype is real. Is it still called hype?
It's not going to be.
It's
not going to be Batman Adventures 12. It won't be that book.
Yeah, that print run is way too low. Now they already came out with the second print variant for issue 89. Yeah, the second print variant is going to be coming out soon, so people are going to snatch that up. And that one, I believe, is the same cover but different color.
Yeah, I think it's red rather than the yellow in background.
Yeah.
But Hell Arisen is like a book that nobody was buying. And, I spoke to a couple LCS owners, and they even said that, issues 1 and 2 weren't selling, and it is a monthly book. So they had time to adjust those numbers on 3. And by the time when they knew that FOC was, that they couldn't order anymore, nobody really cared. They were like, well, I still either have some, or, they just keep dropping and dropping, and who cares? I mean, there's nothing going on in the story. Nothing cares about all this, Batman Who Laughs changing over or infecting all these characters. So
damn, because I've been collecting it. I actually did like that storyline.
I tried reading it.
I got all the infected stuff. I've been doing the Hell Arisen, the Batman Who Laughs, infected stuff, the Year of the Villain shit.
You're the one. So earlier in the week,
here he goes. He's got to show it off.
I'm also the one who's got a book because I get it every
Oh. It's like the scene in 16 Candles.
Let me go downstairs. Hold on, man.
I
have this Doctor Strange poster. That's all I'm sorry.
It's pretty cool. It's a good story. I mean, Batman Who Laughs is good. It looks like, honestly, I think in the story they're gearing up towards this 5G. I think Batman Who Laughs is kind of going to be the architect of the end of this era of DC. Like he's talking about in this issue, threatening a new crisis and everything. So he might be the guy.
Yeah. For a guy who doesn't want to talk about reviewing new comic books, he sure does like to talk about reviewing new comic books, doesn't he?
Look, I did that already. That's old hat for me.
We'll help you. We won't make it all about you. We'll all.
How about reviewing old comic books?
Oh, chronic back issues
all day.
Yeah, what happened to chronic back issues? I think that was on the old.
I had 2 actual back surgeries.
It became real.
Yeah, it became real. Well, I like what we did that one time. Me, you, and what's his name? Where we actually did the Infinity. We did the Annihilation review.
Yeah,
the entire thing.
Yeah,
we should do another
You know what? let's throw it out in the comments. You guys in the comments, after this video, if you watch this video, tell us what you guys want us to do. You want us to review older books, maybe a run of books. Maybe Tim and I could do, the whole review of, the Dark Phoenix 129 to 137.
Yeah, that or like a trade like the Death of Captain Marvel or something like that.
Absolutely.
Or maybe you Marvel people read some DC shit and review it.
Oh, shit.
Hey,
I mean, that might be outside of the box thinking a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. We'll read the original Death in the Family and we'll call that number to see if it still works. You think that number's still up for those boys and girls?
Bro.
This is how social media worked back in the 80s, man. If you wanted Robin to die, you couldn't just click on a damn button to vote. You had to call a phone number, yes, and then another number for no for Robin to. Now they get all fancy with polls and shit, but back then we just had a phone number, man. So,
well, it sounds like we might only be able to read DC books here in the near future.
Yep.
It sounds like there might not be any new DC.
We shall see, man. There will be some form of DC. The brand of DC will never go away. Who publishing it, we shall see. But what's curious is I want to bring up something, and I'm sorry, guys, that we're getting a tangent, but there's so much stuff to unpack. But I want to bring up a comment that somebody left on yesterday's video where one of our viewers left a comment. And we should do one of those videos, too, where we show people the viewers' comments and, either talking good or bad about this. So this guy said he spoke to legendary writer-artist Mike Grell. Even he says that DC's management is screwed up. The editor-in-chief is not even in charge. It's a mess. So this guy spoke to Mike Grell, famously who did Grendel, I believe, Mike Grell. I think we had
Grendel, yep, absolutely. Green Arrow.
Yeah. And Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters, Mike Grell.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great story. We should do Longbow Hunters. I haven't read that in a long time. That was good.
Justin, didn't you just pick that up?
Yeah, found it.
I have it. I have it also.
All 3 issues for $1.
Yeah. Shout out to North Norrell for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it, brother. I always appreciate you. Everybody in the live chat, I would all shout you guys out individually, but there's 109 of you in there right now. So just give each other a hug, high five each other, and sub each other up if you're doing content. If not, then let's get right to it. As always, boys and girls, this is what we call a long-term spec list. This means we got a list from our insider, the Black Knight, who said Marvel said, hey, put a reserve in these characters. We want to use them in the MCU. Now that means it could be anything. But this one, I believe, is going to be in the MCU. This doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get their own movie, but they want to research these characters and use them in upcoming MCU projects. And this is all based on characters, believe it or not, from the West. That's right. If you remember a couple weeks ago, I broke the scoop about, Kang was going to be introduced in the one of the next Avengers films, and he's going to be the main baddie of the Avengers and the FF, not the entire MCU. But Kang was going to use the classic storyline from Avengers 142, where he sends the Avengers and FF throughout time. Some of them go to 2099. Some of them go to the Old West. And this is based on that spec list. And first up, we got a character that Otto is going to break down. And then after Otto and Zach go back and forth, you guys kick it over to Justin, and he'll give you guys sales data on it. First up, we have a character named Caleb Hammer.
Look at that name.
Hammer don't hurt him.
Hammer don't hurt. If I was ever in the adult industry, that would be my name, Caleb Hammer, man. You're going to get this book in Marvel Premiere 54. Now, if you're digging through Marvel 54, Marvel Premiere books, obviously, the book after this is the Wonder Man cover with him holding the big bot, and the book before it is a Black Panther cover. So somewhere in between is a premiere of Caleb Hammer. Now, fun fact about this book: Frank Miller did the cover. Very, very cool, because you got him on the cover, then you've got the silhouette, and that's good Frank Miller stuff.
That looks like Clint Eastwood right there. That looks like definitely like they used Clint Eastwood as a reference for that picture of him behind him. He's got that little skinny
cool
cigarillo and everything. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So Caleb Hammer,
before you continue on, Otto, I just want to tell the people, you think you know Marvel Westerns, but you don't. That's all I'm going to say, because you think everything is Two Gun Kid, but it's not. Well, go ahead.
Right. No, so you've got this character, Caleb Hunter, gunslinger. Book came out in 1980, so you want to go look for that. And he just went through this. There's a couple characters. There's the bad guy is called Crawford McKee, and takes place in the 1890s, and that's really all I can tell you guys about this character. But really cool book, a lot of face value for it, and if you can find it, in a high grade, would it be nice to put it in a slab and have it graded, because Frank Miller's on the cover of a cowboy book, and that's pretty cool. So
Dollar
that's
Bin
what I gotta
Fodder
say
says
about
there's
that.
also a Mark Jewelers insert for this.
Nice. See, I didn't even know that. Justin, what do we got for the census on this? Anything?
Well, we got a 9.8 that just sold actually a very long time ago, 6 years ago in 2014 for $84. So this is a book that is ripe for the picking. And the last sale is actually a 9.6 for $35 in November of last year. So it's definitely doable, because I mean, the Marvel premiere has a very big print run, but it is an 80s book. So I would look for those 9.8s. Absolutely.
Right. And what do we say about 9.8s under 100?
Under 100, you go buy that book in a 9.8.
You go buy it, right? That's right. You can find it under $100. You go pick it up. I've never seen it before in my life either, Tim. So,
I love that. A Marvel premiere run is awesome pickings, man. Some great. They're basically all first appearances, because they're all like anthology series where it's like some hit, some didn't, obviously.
Right.
So, all right. So next up on the list now in the long-term spec list is a little group we like to call the Gunhawks. What can you tell us about the Gunhawks, Zach?
Yeah, so the Gunhawks, this is actually going to be, as you will see as we go on through this, the adjective, I guess, or the pronoun kid is going to be used throughout pretty much every single Western character in Marvel. So in Gunhawks, we have Reno Jones and Kid Cassidy. They have an original backstory, and then they have a more modern story, and a little updated. So the original backstory, you had these two individuals. Kid Cassidy was the son of a plantation-owning family. He was best friends with a slave who was part of the plantation as well. They fought for the Confederates, which was odd for Marvel, I guess. But they ended up going on and just kind of became wandering gunfighters. Kind of a fun fact about this is that you may not know is that Reno Jones ends up being the second Marvel Black character to have his own self-titled series after Luke Cage. So this actually was only for one issue. Kid Cassidy, spoiler alert, was killed in Gunhawks issue 6, and then it got renamed to Reno Jones Gunhawk for issue 7. So could be a fun book right there, a little side key to pick up, spec book, that Reno Jones Gunhawk issue 7. But we did have a modern version of them, kind of came back in 2000s, where it looks like Marvel retconned it and kind of went back. In this one, they more of were against each other than friends. And Reno Jones is more of the main character, and the villain is Kid Cassidy, who he's kind of going up against. So,
but you know what? This is the perfect example of the diversity that Kevin Feige used to use. He probably said, "Hey, research this. I just realized this is the first African-American Marvel hero." Well, I mean, besides maybe Black Panther of 1 million BC or whatever, right? But if you think about it, chronologically in the Old West is the 1800s. So, and then so this is how the appearances came. It was Black Panther, Luke Cage, and then this book that came out, which is in like 75, 74, right around there. So this is pretty early stuff. And I've never seen this either, but it looks pretty damn cool, man.
73. And actually, I think was the last issue was 73. And it's funny you mentioned Black Panther. He actually did have his own title, but it wasn't Black Panther. It was Jungle Action. So that's why Reno Jones kind of sneaks in as the second African-American character to have a self-titled series, which is interesting. It's kind of cool. So, Justin, what'd you find on this one?
Here's another book that really does not have a lot of sales data. I mean, you're looking at a 9.6 sold in 2017 for $271. A 9.4 in 2016 for $225, and more recently, just last year, an 8.0 for $28.
I'm shocked that many.
Reading the comments, reading the comments, Dollar Bin Fodder says there are only about 24 of these on the CGC census right now. So this is definitely another book out there that is ripe for the pickings. It was funny. I went to a local comic shop up here in New Jersey about 2 weeks ago, and what I sent you guys a picture. I said there was a little tab that says Westerns, and Tim goes, start looking for those books, and I was like, unfortunately, at that time we wouldn't have the book, so I couldn't know which is the first appearance of these characters.
I've been telling people for months now. I was like, I don't know what they are. Just pick up any Western that you can. Just grab them all.
Just grab them. Something's got to hit.
I will say, Gunhawks is a pretty cool name too. I really enjoy that name. Like, they should get rid of their name. Stop calling them Reno Jones and Kid Cassidy and just call them the Gunhawks.
Reno Jones is an awesome name too. That reminds me of, what was that show? No, that was Remo Williams. I'm sorry. You ever seen The Adventures of Remo Williams?
Oh my God, you're talking
That
80s
is
stuff
freaking
right there.
awesome. I'm gonna do a review of Remo Williams as well, who had a super racist Asian master that was a white dude that had like slanted eyes. It was,
4 views.
It was Remo Williams was a movie from the 80s, and he was like this guy who got trained to be a super spy or something, and it is awesome. It's awesome 80s. They'll never make a movie like that again.
No.
If they ever reboot it, I'll shoot the producers in the face. Just to show you guys, there's tons of Marvel Westerns. Now, what's interesting as we go down this is you're going to see how far back it goes. And if you guys, for those of us our age, maybe even older, Pops Foster's in the group, but Pops Foster's at the age where Western comics were huge in the golden age, in the 50s. They were gigantic, it was robot science fiction and Westerns. Back in the day, kids used to run around shooting each other. You can't do that now because they probably end up on CNN or the news or something, man. I remember as a kid in the 70s, I had a toy M16 that didn't have any like parts on it that were bright yellow, red, or whatever, man. My favorite toy gun. We used to play war, kids. Yes, we used to play war, believe it or not. Next up on the list is something on the modern tip. What can you tell us about this, Otto?
This is 6 Guns, all right?
That's right.
This is very modern. This is 2012, and it's a group of characters. So you've got 2 different groups. You've got the Texas Rangers and you've got the Black Riders. And these are some great names. You've got Tex Dawson, Robert Madigan, Chief Woman on the Ranger side. But on the Black Riders, you've got Black Rider, Jefferson Cole, Delilah, Crawley, and there's a bunch of other unnamed characters. They do mention, Spider-Woman and a Black Widow in there. Just a really cool cover, guys. I don't really know too much about this. Just, it would only lasted 6 issues. So if you could find this book, if Justin found information on it, goddamn, he's good, because this is something I've never even seen. But it's a really cool cover. If I were looking and digging, and I saw 6 Guns with these characters, I'd say, well, let me take a look at this.
So this long-term spec on this was just 6 Guns. So a lot of times he gets this information, and sometimes the person giving him the information isn't like, hey, it's this run from this issue. This is. They just say, hey, I read on the sheet that they handed us that it's 6 Guns. So, we do our research, and this is what I found. The team members include Tarantula, Matt Slade, Tex Dawson, the 2-Gun Kid, like Zach said, more of the Kid, and Black Rider. So what kind of sales data are we looking at this, Justin?
There is no sales data, unfortunately, for this book.
Damn it.
Whoa!
This book actually failed.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually the writer was Andy Diggle, and he's definitely a great writer.
Yeah, he's
so.
Awesome.
I mean, most of the times you're probably going to find this in sets. If you go to a comic shop, they're most likely going to just have this in the 5-book set. But I mean, if you're looking on eBay, just number ones go for about $5. But you might as well just pick up the full set just to have it, and it's probably maybe at most $15 because it's going to be like cover price. So unfortunately, guys, this is probably a book that's in the dollar bin or in a set bin.
Yeah, it was a 6-issue miniseries. So but modern take on, they sometimes they just throw things out there and say, hey, let's see if the kids like the Cowboys stuff, and apparently not. But in Feige we trust. If anybody can bring back Westerns and stuff like that, it's our man Kevin Feige. Nobody do it, but he can. Next up is a character that a lot of you guys in the live chat have already been talking about. I think JLS Comics talked about it. Next up on the spec list is Black Rider. That's right, boys and girls. The first appearance of Black Rider this is our first Golden Age book on the list. This was published by who, Otto?
Oh, that's me. There we go.
I
thought this was Zach.
This is one of mine.
That's Zach. I'm sorry. It's my fault. Here I was blaming Otto. I was like, sorry, Zach.
You're so used to it,
Yeah,
that's right.
So
go ahead.
Timely Comics, which is kind of fun. It's an old school, the original before Marvel. We got the All-Star Westerns #2, All-Star Western Winners #2. I apologize. So this character, like most of them, is the same backstory, really. And surprise, he was originally known as the Cactus Kid. So he then becomes a doctor, and just like every other doctor, he becomes named Doc Masters.
So Doc Holliday.
Yeah, I mean, really, there's not a lot of backstory to this guy. I mean, he was part of an outlaw for a little while. He changed his ways. He tried to be peaceful. And then he kind of got sucked back into the life, trying to protect the townspeople. And he became the Black Rider to kind of protect his identity. Something kind of fun, which Tim probably would like a lot, is at one point he ran into a younger version of the Ancient One. So a little bit of tie-in with your boy Doc Strange there. And then, kind of as Otto said, we did have a more modern version of this character show up in the Six Guns miniseries that came out. So, there could be a couple versions. We don't know which one, but obviously this is a Golden Age book and would be a great one to own. Timely Comics.
Yeah, quickly. This was published by Timely Comics in 1948. It was written and the story was done by Sid Shores, and he also did the art, Sid Shores. And I was thinking, Sid Shores sounds like a fake name, so I really Googled it. That's really his name, Sid Shores. And at the time, Stan Lee was the editor-in-chief over at Timely Comics, so his name is on this comic as the editor-in-chief. What kind of sales data we're looking at this, Justin?
Again, we're looking at a book that has no sales data, unfortunately. Nothing. Couldn't find anything, whether slabbed or even raw is really tough to find. So, I mean, there are a few out there. I looked on the CGC census just to make sure that people were slabbing them up. There's very few, under 20, I believe. But these are people that are just holding on to this book. They're probably just collectors, back in the 40s and 50s. So,
like the cover says, oh, snap. I didn't think they knew what it meant back then. But like I said, man, if I ever saw old Golden Age Western books in the wild, same with EC horror books, I would buy them. You just don't see that many that often. If you go to a show, they're always priced at a premium. Collectors put these at a high regard because they know the real hardcore collectors, they like to buy up everything Golden Age. So, and in the Golden Age, unfortunately, it was mostly, but outside of DC was doing the superhero stuff, but outside of that, Timely was doing all these horror comics, science fiction stuff. I mean, if you go back and watch the Stan Lee interviews, and before he did Fantastic Four, and he said he wanted to quit writing because he was doing all these, doing mass books like this, right? And he was tired of it until his wife said, "Go ahead and try something new," and then was born the Fantastic Four. So really cool. It's actually on Disney Plus, if I recall correctly. There's a Marvel something that, if you dig the Disney Plus on the Marvel side, you find some cool little documentaries and stuff about Marvel comics and Stan Lee and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty cool, man. So next up on the list, on our long-term spec list, and this one is for Otto, and this one is yet another kid.
That's right. A Western Kid. All right. So Western Kid, this is an Atlas comic book. Okay. So the Western Kid, and it's actually the same character, Tex Dawson, that I just spoke about earlier. But now if you look at this cover, which is really cool, look at all the names. This is Stan Lee. This is not typical Stan Lee, but this is Stan Lee with his characters. Tex Dawson with Whirlwind the Savage Stallion and Lightning the Miracle Dog. So Stan Lee was the editor-in-chief at Atlas Comics at the time. John Romita did this cover.
Actually, Stan Lee wrote this.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool, because that alludes to what Tim said about how he was writing and writing and writing, and then he got tired of it, and then he wanted to do something else, and hence Marvel Comics. But John Romita did the cover, and that's really all I know about it. But if you were to look at this cover to an X-Men book, an early X-Men book, or to an early FF book, just with the names themselves on it, you can tell that that's Stan Lee. And, this is classic early pre-Marvel stuff. So if you can find it, God bless. I don't know if Justin found anything about it. So
there is some sales data on it, and I will say that they had an 8.0, I mean, sold 10 years ago for $310. A 5.0 more so recently in November of 2019 for $117. But what's really interesting is there is a UK version out there, and the UK edition sold in 2019 is a 6.5 for $210. So be on the lookout, whichever one you are buying. I don't know if it's pence or whatever the pricing is, but there are two versions out there. So.
And I tried to look for that UK. I cannot find even a cover for it. That's why it's not in the graphic. I mean, this is, if you look at not many people even know what the Atlas Comics logo looks like. It's all the way up there in the upper left-hand corner. Tiny, right on the top of the W to the left of it. That is the Atlas Comics, yeah, that says Atlas Comics on it.
Yeah, that's Atlas Comics. Yep.
Yeah. So this is like Atlas, then all the way over to Timely, and then the Marvel. So it's funny because at one point when we were talking about the Dial stuff and Marvel, perhaps them farming out the publishing of DC Comics, and Marvel may be able to be one of the ones that do that. DC at one point published Marvel Comics as well through the 50s and to 1967. And it was their way of trying to kill Marvel Comics, believe it or not. I think it was 57 to 60 something is when DC was publishing the Marvel Comics, because Marvel Comics wasn't doing too well. So I'm pretty sure somebody in the live chat can bring it up. But that is a true factoid that DC once published Marvel Comics, even though they may have been named differently. All right, next up is another kid from man Zach. What do you got?
So we got the Rawhide Kid. So the Rawhide Kid is actually considered one of Marvel's most prolific Western characters.
He's shown up. Star name.
He's shown up a lot of times in even modern stories, a lot of time travel, which makes sense that we might see him in these Kang stories. Just like the previous guy, he first started with Atlas Comics, had like a little 16-issue miniseries there. Then after a little bit of a break, when it came to Marvel, we had our boy Stan Lee start writing about the Rawhide Kid, kind of revamped him. And they say it likens that original series to what Stan Lee was doing with Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. It was very slapstick. The words that I'm reading right now are freewheeling romp of energetic, almost slapstick action. So it was kind of goofy. Basic character. He was an unjustly wanted as an outlaw, heroic gunfighter, main stuff. We did see in 2000s a little bit of change with the Rawhide Kid. He first showed up again in the Blaze of Glory miniseries, which we also saw with the guys we were talking about earlier, Reno Jones and Kid Cassidy. They came back. And then we had a bit of a controversial miniseries, the Rawhide Kid, which actually took place when some of you might remember the Max imprint under Marvel.
Oh, yeah. The adult themed line. Yeah.
It was parental advisory. And the reason this kind of was, which this is 2003, was because there was strong innuendos that the Rawhide Kid was a homosexual. So very much was it implied, and the dialogue was really leaning this way. It was also very violent and a lot of killing and stuff. So it's kind of why I think it fell under that Max imprint. So they revamped the character a little bit. We've seen him again in some other miniseries, most recently in 2010, where he shows up with a bunch of real life characters like Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid. We also see Red Wolf, the Earps, and other stuff like that. But once again, one of the most prolific Western characters here.
I don't. Really quick for a second. Sequential Geek brings up something that, according to former editor-in-chief at Marvel, Axel Alonso, on the YouTube channel Hot 97, which is like the New York hip hop station, and they have like a nerdy comic book podcast that they do. At the 2-minute mark, he explains how the Rawhide Kid was made gay. Axel explains red-haired men correlates to homosexuality.
It's racist. And you know what? My girlfriend's downstairs right now and can tell you I'm true. I am a heterosexual man.
What's his name? Milton the Manimal's name is Milton the Rawhide Kid. There you go.
I have a question.
Wrong with that?
That's not wrong. That's an excellent pornography name too, Rawhide Kid, I think.
Yeah.
I have a question. Why is the first appearance of Rawhide Kid issue 16 of a book called Rawhide Kid?
Oh. Well, I got Rawhide Kid number 1.
Oh,
this is what I found.
I think it's a typo. No, I think it's going to be a typo because there were 16 issues in that first miniseries, but his first appearance is Rawhide Kid 1.
Somebody fucked up on the graphic.
Marvel fandom, Rawhide Kid number 1. Well, maybe because this is when Marvel finally took them over.
Could be.
Yeah, maybe for Marvel, but yeah, for his first appearance is Atlas Comics.
Yeah, right.
But what's funny is he doesn't have red hair in that one.
It looks a little blonde.
I don't know. So there goes the thing about all redheads being homosexuals.
Well, I guess that's only when it comes to 2000s. But back in the 1955s, those blondes sure were homosexual.
So that was a weird thing to say. Like in the comics, that was their signal to say that that character was a redhead was homosexual. But that is so weird.
About Matt Murdock, one of the most famous redheads who bangs tons of girls.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, he's blind for a reason. Maybe he thought they were dudes.
I think he figured.
Anyway, what's the sales data on this, Justin?
Yeah, we've gone sideways on this.
Back in 2019, which is the most recent sale, 4.0 sold
Moogly.
$550. A last sale, 6.5 sold for $1,050 in March of 2019. But check this out, 8.5 in 2017 sold for $10,755. That is
insane. Bought that. My God.
Someone really won that book.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, people really like them. Let me tell you, and that tells you why 16 is the more collectible issue. Hold on one second. I'm gonna tell you right now. Yeah, maybe that is the wrong graphic, but that is the sales data is for Rawhide Kid. Is that sales data for Rawhide Kid number 16 or for number 1?
I'd have to go back and look at the notes.
I'm pretty sure that's for yeah, I think that's Rawhide Kid number 1 because if we go on the notes and if I pull that up, let me tell you right now. Rawhide Kid volume 1. Yeah. Either way, kids, it's an expensive book. So go get Rawhide Kid number 1. Sorry, that's the wrong graphic, but Rawhide Kid is on the list. So it goes to prove that if people find high grade Golden Age books and slab them, they're worth a lot of money. You know what I mean? And next up on the list is something for Otto. And if you've been guessing all this time, you've guessed right because this one is probably the most obvious one on the list.
That's right. Ghost Rider, the Phantom Rider, Carter Slade himself.
Another cool name.
Carter Slade. That's right. I do believe we talked about this before. I don't know if we touched on this.
The spec on this before was when they were going to do the Ghost Rider series that they were going to introduce all the Ghost Riders.
Yes, correct. Right.
Yeah,
so
and this Ghost Rider actually appeared in the Ghost Rider film. Yeah, you remember it was Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Right?
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
The best cowboy movies, man, right there, Sam Elliott, and that was one of the coolest scenes ever. And it drove me nuts that he used the rest of his power to ride with him down the freeway when he could have used him to fight. Yeah. What's his name?
It was like, look, dude, we don't need you to just ride with us. What the fuck was that about?
I've got enough power to ride with you one more time, hombre, and then boom, he's gone. I was like, dude, you really could have used you in a fight. But anyway, go ahead, Otto.
No, nothing. Just that book came out in 1967. Stan Lee was the man. Roy Thomas is in this. So there's 2 stories in this book, just so you guys know. One Stan Lee did right, and the other one Roy did, the Golden Boy himself. A lot of big names in this big book. Vince Coletta, Dick Ayers did the cover. He came back. Just another about Carter Slade, the school teacher, was making his way back and got sucked in, and now he's a Ghost Rider. So just a real fun book to have.
So real quick, the reason why I a lot of times will put the creators of the comic on here is not only for historical context, but also a lot of times unfortunately for this list, but a lot of times the creators of these characters are still alive and we give you their names. So the possible signing opportunities, and shout out to Rocket Comics. You can get those books signed for you, but just so you know, that's why a lot of times we'll put the creators' names on there just to give homage to who created these characters. And also maybe you get an opportunity for some signage in the future. Go ahead, Otto.
No, that's about it. So as far as character wise, don't know too much about him. I'm not really a Western guy, but just a cool cover, good book. It's going to happen eventually. He's a great character. You can see him popping up in a Western movie. And Justin, what do we got for info on this?
A little bit of sales data on this. I mean, we have an 8.5 that sold in September
for
$330 and a 9.4 back in April of last year for $1,250.
So I remember 3 or 4 years ago, man, this book was easily a $10, $15 book, man.
Yep.
Jeez. People know stuff. Stuff's out there.
Yeah, I think when Ghost Rider was being developed or stuff like that, and also, they know he's coming because he was a pretty popular character. Even this is one of the weirder ones that was created. Another one that was the first appearance in the Bronze Age, but their history goes back all the way to, back to the 1800s and stuff. And if you've been reading Marvel comics lately, probably the last couple of years, right? They've been alluding to these characters in the past, right? Zach, like Avengers 1 million BC. They're trying to show this long, kind of protracted history of the Marvel comics, and which is cool was the name of the first Sorcerer Supreme was Agamotto, right? Mm-hmm. And then there was like who was the Ghost Rider version?
He was like a mammoth Ghost Rider. He was on a woolly mammoth.
Yes, that looked actually kind of dope. Actually, when I saw that, I was
pretty
like,
cool.
Yeah, I was like, a woolly mammoth. Fuck yeah, man. What's cooler? And also there was like a first iteration of Iron Fist, I believe, one of the first Iron Fists.
Yeah,
there was
a Black Panther, Odin as Thor, and a Phoenix as well, and Starbrand.
Yeah, Starbrand. I actually got that first appearance not too long ago. Starbrand's one of the more powerful characters in the Marvel universe that they don't nearly get enough pub. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, I'm getting a message right now. Well, that's cool. Black Rider is actually Stan Lee on the cover. I'm looking at a comic right now. Black Rider number 8.
Someone
Mystery
mentioned that in
Man.
the comments earlier. They said that it was supposed to be revealed that it was him.
Yeah. He's the act. So if you look at Black Rider number 8, I don't know if Ryan, if you could throw this graphic, if that's enough time, is it for you to do it? I'll send it to you.
Give me a minute, I'll find out.
No, I'll give it to you. Here, I'll send it to you in the live chat. But this is actually Stan Lee was the actual model on it, and it was a photo cover. So they took a picture of him. It sent it to you right now. So this is Black Rider number 8. Unfortunately, with Stan passing away, it would have been awesome to get him to sign it. But this is one of those things where, hey, we need a picture of a cowboy. We don't want to pay for models. Stan, what are you doing? Get over here. Let me just take a picture just up against this cowboy, and it sent it to you. So I think this book would be cool as a spec book. So this was Black Rider number 8 from way back when. It says Marvel Comics on it, but I'm wondering when this came out. So this is
March 1950.
March 1950. That is a young Stan Lee on the cover.
That
right
is.
there.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I wish as soon as Ryan gets a chance to do it, he'll show you. But any questions in the live chat? I hope you guys were able to absorb all that. I think I may be getting I got word of this a couple days ago that we got some characters being reserved for a certain Herald of Galactus. That may be dropping next week. They're working on a Silver Surfer solo film, y'all. And from what I was told, that these characters are the ones that you have hardly ever heard of. And my guess is the picking grounds for this would be the Ron Lim series, Silver Surfer, which ran for a good, 100 issues, 100 or 75, right around there. There is a ton of stories in there that all take place off Earth, and it's absolutely fantastic. That's, of course, the Infinity Gauntlet and all the Thanos storylines, but that is a great series to have. So hopefully we'll have that. I'm trying to get more information on that. Hopefully we'll have that for you next week. Until next time, though, Manimal, any last words?
I've just put it up for you guys.
There it is. Look at that handsome devil, Stan Lee, in all his glory, right there on the cover of Black Rider number 8.
Shooting from the hip, too. Damn.
Yeah, look at the Marvel logo all the way on the bottom right there.
I don't know if that's the Marvel logo or not, if that's something that was taken after. Let me Google another picture of that and see. What is that, Black Rider number 8?
Yeah, I just saw one on in CGC, and it actually says in the notes, it says Stan Lee cover. Photo cover,
really?
And there's actually a signed one, and he put yes.
Holy shit, that is the logo. That is the Marvel Comics logo on there.
Marvel Comics.
CGC official CGC says I'm looking at a signed one right now on CGC website, and it all right, sorry to do this to you, Ryan, but we're live. So here, this one is cool. This is one of the coolest slabs you will ever see. I just sent it to you, Ryan. Basically, it's a CGC 4.5 of this book, and
that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, and on it, Stan Lee has signed it saying, "Yes, it's me, Excelsior, Stan Lee." That is a cool slab right there.
I would die with that. Like when it's my turn to go.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. If I get that Batman number 1, I'm done.
Yeah,
I retire from comics. I'm done. Done.
My God, I would take that with me to the grave.
Speaking of which, we all bought mystery boxes from Torpedo Comics, the Mystery Vault 2.0. Who else got one? Everybody?
I got one. Yep.
I did not.
As soon as we all get them, we are going to do a live unboxing, all of us at the same time. And if one of us gets Batman number 1, we're going to sell it and split the profits five ways.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're like, hey, old man, I couldn't get a hold of Tim for like a month. Anybody see?
Yeah, really. Ryan's in Cuba.
You know what's really going to suck though is if we all get it and we're waiting for everyone to get theirs to open it and we see it posted that someone else wants that Batman.
That's why we got to do it immediately. And also, we'll dash their hopes too if we end up getting one. Or we'll give them hopes if we all don't get one, because they'll be like, oh, well, hey, I still got a chance. Those 5 guys just opened and they didn't get any. So if you don't know, Torpedo Comics has show that. That is dope right there. So that's a Black Rider number 8. That is the Stan Lee Sig on the cover. And if you say it says, yes, it's me, Excelsior Stan Lee. That is one of the coolest SIGs I have ever seen, man.
Yep.
Damn, and they got a 4.5. That's pretty good grade too. Shit, you should look that up. But that is pretty cool. Whoever's got that. Yes, it's me. See, that's what's cool about him. And not only is he saying it's me, so it's kind of like saying, CGC, make sure I'm credited on this. So there you go. Look how young he was.
Oh, my God.
That is awesome.
Jeez, that's great. That's fantastic. I mean, that's why you got to love Lords of the Long Box for pulling up stuff like this, man. Even watching our notes, we didn't think we'd pull this up, but that's
Great
amazing.
job, Brian, with the real-time
Hey,
graphics.
all right.
Fuck it, we do it live. We'll do it
That's
live.
right. That's right. We'll do it live.
All right. Well, we're running on 7 o'clock right now, so make sure you check out our friends at the Comic Core. They go live every Wednesday night, right? I'm for sure they go live every night, to be honest with you, or maybe 2 or 3 times a night. But shout out to Discovery Bay Comics too, who goes live 3 times a day. But check out our friends, the Comic Core. I think they start in about 5 minutes. But I forgot to ask you, Ryan, auction when?
March. I'm ready.
All right, it can't be next weekend. I have some family personal stuff.
Let's do it the second week.
There you go, boys and girls. We're going to start doing a Lords of the Long Box auction, either Friday or Saturday. If it's Friday, we'll go on right after 3 Men in the Basement.
Wow, that's Friday the 13th. That'd be fun.
Ah, perfect, because we know us 666 and Friday.
That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
All right. All right. I think Justin and Otto got something to plug. What do you guys got? Oh, I'm sorry, Milton. Any last words?
No, just fun show. I actually didn't know anything really about any of these Western characters, so it was kind of fun to look them up. And also, we got 135 in here. Please hit that thumbs up for us. That'd be helpful. And I know they're going to talk about it, but good luck to 3 Men in a Basement comic swap, which we're going to hear about right now.
What's happening in New Jersey?
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Eeny, miny, mo. Who's a better speaker, Otto or Nemesis Prime?
No, I'm
Who's
going
going
to
to
let
take
Justin
this?
do this. This is Justin's
All right,
baby.
Justin, go ahead.
This is my baby.
Tell him about the swap meet.
Justin's been whoring around town for this.
Ah, man, come on. This is my baby. This is my hometown, Roselle Park. This is the final push this upcoming Saturday. 3 Men in a Basement comic swap at Frenchie's Bar and Grill. It's from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We got a lot of vendors setting up. Anybody who wants to come down, anybody from the IG community, YouTube community, it's going to be really fun. It's completely free to either set up or free to really just walk through and buy stuff, swap stuff. Saw a couple people in the live chat. I know Matt Forge is coming. I know Dave in the Cave. Of course, my brothers in 3 Men in a Basement are coming down. I got people from PA, New York. The NY Warriors are showing up. So basically, it's just like an old school comic show. You can just come in, walk around, bring some money, spend some money, or, trade. I mean, I got like right now, I got 3 short boxes of some priced up books, $5, $10, and $20. I got some wall type books.
So tell people if they've never been there and if they want to participate, what do they need to do? What do they need to bring? Blah, blah, blah.
All they got to do in the next couple of days is if you want to come and set up, just contact me. I'll let you know when to come. If you guys are wanting to set up, usually we're trying to say come between 12 and 12:30 to make sure that things are set up. So by like 1 o'clock, we're rocking and rolling for 4 hours. If you want to just come in general, you can bring whatever. You can bring comics. You can bring trades. I know Gary's coming.
General, right?
Yeah.
We're doing raffles. We're doing giveaways from some of the local comic shops here in New Jersey. They gave me tickets. I have some tickets to
the Geeky Swag Shop going to be there too, right?
Geeky Swag Shop. He's coming down. He's going to set up. So I got tickets to East Coast Comic Con. I got tickets to ZapCon. I got some gift cards, some nice giveaways. So it's going to be a fun time, guys. So if you can make it this Saturday, if you're in the tri-state area, please come down. I looked at the weather. It is nice. It's not snowing or raining. It's just going to be a little chilly, but that doesn't hurt us nerds from buying
traveling
comics
around. So
Gary's you're coming with the fire too.
Yeah. So let me tell you about Gary. I just got off the phone with him. As you guys know, Very Gary just bought a collection that had everything in it. So shout out to Very Gary. He said that any book that he has not sent to CGC or is not sending to CGC, any of those books that you've watched on his video, he is bringing to the swap. So he's definitely going to be bringing fire with him. And, check out Very Gary's channel. And shout out to you guys for a great show tonight. And also 3 Men in the Basement just dropped like 3 or 4 new videos. And just to give you guys a timeline of Saturday, ballpark, we're going to try to do a live show around 3 o'clock if possible for a half hour. If not, we're going to pre-record some stuff. We're going to be doing 2 raffles. We're going to be doing a giveaway. And we're going to go till like 5 o'clock. So come on down. And then after that, we're going to do a little recap live. So it's going to be a lot of 3 Men in the Basement on Saturday. So hopefully everybody can jump in, join us in a live chat, and just be there with us. If you're not there, physically, then just watch us on the live stream. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yep. Any last words, Darkside Jedi?
No, sir. Looking forward to the auction on the Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. Mark it on your calendars. I have
already that's a big day right there.
Stuff to do on the 6th. So Friday the 13th, I got a bunch of books that here's how I feel about it. I don't like storing stuff, so I'm going to sell it. If it's just sitting around, I'm just going to put it like 7, 8 comics and say, yo, just buy this stuff. I don't want it. Thank you for everybody in the live chat. Shout out to JW Statues, who's one of the coolest statue channels on YouTube. They have some of the most killer graphics that I've ever seen. I mean, he's green screen stuff.
Ryan.
He does stuff. It's awesome, man. But thank you for the $5 super chat, JW. Our Orgo Doug's it. Thank you. Bro, we need comic swaps in SoCal. Yes, I am working on that. I'm actually talked to the Big To Do from Comic Tunes and Toys. I think we could work something out. I also have a buddy who owns a club in LA. It is a bit of a drive for me, but if you follow him, Nash Tennant, on Instagram, he is a promoter and he has a club in LA, so we may be able to do it there. I personally would like to do something in Orange County during the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con. If anybody has connections for clubs or bars in San Diego where everybody can come get drunk and party afterward, I got a DJ Curse and the world famous Beat Junkies will probably DJ it. And here's my master plan that I had for a comic swap the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con. I was going to get Word Burglar come down to MC. I was going to get DJ Curse to DJ it. And I just need a venue. My brother's San Diego PD, so I got security already lined up. So we just need a venue. Maybe once we get big enough, sponsors will be like, yo, that's a great idea. And I'll handle all the other stuff from back in my party promoting days of
We need to get
parties.
Delta as a sponsor so I can get a flight out there.
There you go. You guys,
Southwest.
start driving now and you'll be there by then. Shout out to JW Statues. Really appreciate the $20 super chat. Go sub up JW Statues. I'm not kidding when I tell you he has some of the coolest statue videos out there. He's got his cute little daughters in there and they show statues and they have a great time. And it's some of the coolest video editing I've ever seen for a YouTube channel that's just doing statues. He used to have way more subs than he does, to be honest with you. But thank you all for joining us. And that's it, boys and girls. As always, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.